Conditions here at the NAP Oval. We're here courtesy of Angus Securities each and every week. Also Grand Central, the Lakes Resort, and PDK Financial Accountants, and Black and White Trucks and Removalists. And as we see the main director coming up the stairs.
Yeah, Dave Cameron.
Dave Cameron.
Just about to sit down as we watch the umpire bounce the ball to start this big game here. Up they go. Scholar, who's going to have to do plenty of rucking today, got his hand to the ball, but Jimmy Gowns with a left foot out of the centre up to Steinberner. Uses his pace to get onto the left boot, but just he got the kick away. It was smothered. A kick off the ground by Graham. Up inside the 50, but taken by Hall for the Panthers. He goes out towards centre wing looking for Fleming, and the ball will beat both he and McLean over the line for a boundary throw. McCabe, I should say, for a boundary throw in centre wing outer side.
And we'll get some key matchups from Phil Hurd in just a moment. The umpire is going to throw the ball in on that outer side. Just 30 seconds gone, courtesy of the Lakes Resort. The umpire throws the ball back in, and the Rucks go at battle, but it's a short throw, and it comes out to Slade, who got the ball quickly. He was tackled, and the ball then again spilled over the boundary line. Any key matchups there, Phil Hurd, at this stage?
Yeah, well, Daniel Shell, he's got Gerard Bennett this afternoon, and a Steinberner with McGlone, Healy and Haitley. I'm just checking out the South Adelaide forward line.
Okay, Scholar up in ruck in front position, can't get the ball in there, is from South Adelaide. They've got the ball running all of a sudden. It comes out to Smith. He gets a quick kick up to half forward in front there, as it always should be. Takes the mark. He gets a handball over to a running teammate. They've got the first shot on goal. Is it going to be the first score? It is, and I can't quite pick up the play, but great play by South Adelaide to run the ball from that centre wing direction. No Central's player touched the ball. It's a goal on the board to South Adelaide, and that is on the Lakes Resort.
It looked like a Nagel kick, but
Rodney Love, I suspect.
Rodney Love, was it?
Okay, so there's the first score on the board of South Adelaide. They lead one straight goal. Central District's yet to score. You're on RPH Football with Phil Hurden.
Well, start's very important against Centrals in round 3. The Panthers kicked 9 goals in the first quarter. In the rematch, they kicked donuts, not a single score, and Centrals ran away with the win. South have never won when trailing at quarter time. A big start, very important.
Okay, bounce back in the centre. Scholar and King. King the tap down to Davis. He gets the handball over the top. About to run on it was Steinford. Coming through as Hay. Back in the doggy side with the left boot. Out there towards the centre wing. Players converge on the footy. The ball almost thrown out. Comes out to the Panthers, and McGlone, I think it was, with the left footer. Up towards centre, half forward. And in front, the mark taken for the Panthers. The hurried kick there went over to, but looking for a teammate. It was Hopwood, however, that intercepted for the Doggies. He gets it out to Cochrane out there at half-back. He goes up towards centre wing, and the mark taken there for them by Graham.
Tyson Hayes still down behind field, so the injury problems there, but Central District's going into attack now. Comes in with a long kick, up looking for the Shell direction. He's from behind, goes for the big fly, can't take it. Good spoil there by the South Adelaide player in McGlone, and he thumps the ball towards
on the full.
And it's a kick in. It's gone over on the full, so Marco Bello to take the free kick right next to the point post.
It's like a soccer corner, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's actually standing the mark, so if he plays on, he could probably get past the player standing there, and that's Nagel. Goes back, the kick comes short, it's smothered, goes towards the boundary line again. Is it going to be forced over for a minor score? It is. The first score to Central Districts is a minor one. And on the Lakes Resort scoreboard, it is South Adelaide 1 straight goal, Central Districts 1 behind.
Yeah, the kick in is good to Davis for the Panthers. He breaks away on that right boot. He goes out there towards the centre of the ground, but Hopwood's all there by himself, takes it, gives it over to Cochrane, I think it is, who bangs it back inside the 50.
Oh,
Shell
great
by
kick.
himself. In fact, it was Symes that kicked the ball to Shell. The Panther players were caught out of position with that quick turnover. Danny Shell waiting back, and I'm predicting he'll kick accurately today, boys, and probably kick about a 10.
Well, there you go. There's a big prediction. Phil Hurden.
Yeah,
we'll through it.
Yeah, with Daniel Shell. He's third in the goal-kicking list, 5 behind Warren at the moment. Make that 4 behind Warren as the Doggies get on the board. First goal to Daniel Shell, first goal to the Bulldogs, and Central take the lead. The Doggies 1-1-7, South 1 straight 6 on the Lakes Resort scoreboard.
Yeah, costly turnover that from South Adelaide, and it's always interesting to note, as a defender, do you run out with the players as you've got the ball? That turnover was very costly because Symes picked the ball up and kicked it straight back over the defenders' heads to Shell, who was standing there. Some might say it's bludgeoning, but nevertheless, he got the ball turned around and kicked truly for his first goal. So 1 point leaders are the Doggies. The umpire back in the centre of the ground to bounce the ball. No, this time he's going to throw it up. King up against Scholar. King gets the ball down. It comes out again to the South Adelaide players. They've got the numbers. Davis in there again, forcing the ball forward. Comes out the back. It was out from Slade. He gets the ball over to one of the... that was Symes. He gets it over to the player running with the ball. This time kicks up towards Bello. That was McCabe. Good kick by McCabe to find Bello in front. And Bellows marked the ball around about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Phil Hurden, has he got the distance in his legs to kick this ball?
Yeah, look, probably not one you'd put the house on for kicking. He scored 8 goals, 13 for the Doggies this year, 2014 last year. One-time Norman Russell medalist back in his first season, 1999. He's going to kick from just inside 50, 45-degree angle. Comes in now. It sits up, looks like it's into the wind. Will lob right on the goal line. Quentin Graham goes for the mark, can't get it. And South tap it through. That's a behind to the Doggies. They're second on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. Central Districts 1-2-8. South Adelaide 1 straight goal 6.
Yeah, Nagel brings the ball into the back pocket to McGlon, who gets onto the left boot. Not a good kick off the boot. It wobbles towards centre wing where Haitley picks it up. He puts it on the right boot, goes towards centre half forward, tipping across. In front was a Hanby. The ball down the ground though, and first there was Love with a handball back out to the half to centre wing here on the grandstand side, taken there by Jackman. Jackman up towards half forward.
Tucky.
And the mark taken by Tucky. Second mark for the day. So Tucky now backward of the half forward flank on the grandstand side for the Panthers, chips it into the centre, and the player there put his hand up. Brett King was going to lob in Fleming's arms, but the hand has ricocheted the ball away, and the Doggies pounce on it through Steinberner. He chips it out here towards McCabe. In opposition there with him is Chris Hall. The ball coming towards the boundary line. Hall's got it. The handball back is good. Gave it there to Jackman, back to Hall. Hall's kick though. He's picked out, I think that's McCabe. Picked him out and put it straight down his throat. McCabe will go back up towards half forward and chipping across and taking a very good mark is the big man Parry for the Panthers.
Yeah, good mark there by Parry at half-back. Got a chance now to relieve the pressure from the Doggies. South Adelaide trail by just 2 points. Parry goes in short to his teammate in Jackman. Jackman's marked on the half-forward flank right in front of the 5 RPH commentary team. He goes back to inside 50. Dangerous kick, but it did come off, and he's found Haitley.
25.
So 25 for the player holding on.
Yeah, professional free kick, that one by Shelley. Knew that Jared Bennett was way out on the other side by himself, and that was the direction that Haitley was heading, no doubt about that, and the umpire had no option but to pay the 25.
Played on there to Davis, and McGlon it was, and he got the kick up towards the player there on that outer side, Stevens. He's got it out towards Bennett. Bennett goes with a drop punt, an absolutely shocking kick too. He's got to go towards the boundary line and roll out of bounds on the... Not I was going to say on the full, but it's gone out of bounds. The throw will take place on that outer side of the ground.
Just going to mention the interchange bench for the sides for Central District: Shannon Hearn, Kane Officer and Heath Hopwood. For South Adelaide, Nick Manhood, Tom Tarrant and Owen Davey.
What's Bennett done to his hair?
Well, I don't know, but he does something and do it every time we see him play, something different, that is. Now, that was a very poor kick by Bennett. He had 2 players out there, didn't he? He had Matty Smith and he also had Tucky, and he put the ball right in the middle of them and hit the deck and bounced out of bounds. I mean, for a man of his experience, a very poor kick, I thought.
It was,
the umpire's got the footy. Out there, half-forward flank out of side. The big men do battle, and the ball down the ground, or any number of players in over the footy. Got no idea who's at the bottom of the pack. Phil's got the binoculars on it, and the umpire will move in and ball it up.
Yeah, they're wearing blue.
They're wearing blue. Well, they're all wearing blue. Some have got red and white, and the others have got white, as the umpire's going to throw it up. About, say, 60 metres away from the Panther goal. Outer side, half-forward flank, up they go. Big Scholar up, tapped it down. It's all the Doggies back there. Hopwood trying to get free, and did get free, but stepped out over the line in doing so for a boundary throw in half-forward flank, outer side.
Could have been almost holding the ball, Phil, couldn't it?
Well, if he hadn't stepped over the line, it would have been.
Certainly would have been. OK. The throw-in comes in at Scholar in front position. He taps the ball down, looking for his teammates there, but a quick kick forward from South Adelaide comes from Love. Gets it over to Hamby. Hamby gets it over towards Vic. Vic comes back to Hamby. Hamby chops it short. Good play by South Adelaide. And on the end of that was the player for South, and that player is Ben Warren, and he's marked, well, 15 metres out, virtually directly in front. Good play by Hamby not to blaze away, and saw Warren leading him, just dropped the ball over the top.
And most importantly, found him right on the South Adelaide logo on the chest. And Benny Warren, 50 goals this season. Currently in the lead for the Kent Farmer medal ahead of Waterhouse and Shell. And he's got his first for the afternoon. So the 4 forwards on the board early. Thanks to Grand Central, 9 minutes gone. And on the Lakes Resort scoreboard, South 2 straight goals, 12, Central's 1-2-8. And thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, Phil. At Alberton, Port and Sturt 1 goal apiece. Eagles 1-2 leading Nord, no score. West Adelaide 1 straight leading Glenelg 1 behind. St Kilda 9-3 leading Melbourne 6-4. Back to the boys.
And back here at the NAP Oval, the umpire with the footy about to ball it up in the centre. Great day to take a specky today,
Shelley, yeah.
boys. And the way Bennett plays, he usually likes to stand 2 or 3 yards or metres in front of his opponent, and that to me suggests that Shell might be able to take a specky today as the ball comes out from McCabe. The handball was targeted. He was looking for biscuits on it. The Panthers are there to take possession. Comes out here to young Stevens for the Panthers, puts his head down, but also in there is McCabe, and the umpire said, give it to me, boys.
Bit of off the ball stuff again. Guess he's involved, Phil.
Yeah, I guess so. Centre clearances 3-0 favour of Centrals. South Adelaide don't have Kenner or Clinton King. That'll be their biggest deficit this week.
Scholar gets the ball down. It comes out to a free kick. It's going to go back to Slade, I think, DB.
And this will be 4 centre clearances to nil.
Yeah, didn't see what it for. So Slade's got the ball, centre wing, goes inboard with a kick out towards Tyson Hay. He's got Scholar running for him, chooses not to go there, goes to the long kick up to the leading player, and what a good kick too, and that's found Graham, Quinton Graham. Plays on quickly, goes in short to the leading player of Shell. Shell on the end of that. Great play by Central Districts. And again, it was from a turnover and a free kick back here at centre wing. South Adelaide did not touch the ball.
Yeah, look, and I mean, if Centrals are going to get the centre clearances all day, Daniel Shell's going to lead. And this will test him a little bit more. The first one was straight in front, not too far out. This one he'll be kicking from about 35, but the angle is acute, probably about 60, 65 degrees. We'll come in now. Straightens it up. Goal umpire, well, that won't even register anything. It heads towards the boundary line. So Daniel Shell out of bounds on the full across the face of goal.
He missed that simply because he ran in too close to the man on the mark, and then he tried to chip it when he got close and chip it over the top.
But umpire's found a free.
Umpire has found a free, and the Doggies have got it. It's been kicked back to centre half forward. Big Scholars moved in there. I think one of the Gowans boys was the player.
Yeah, it was Chris Gowans. The actual free kick was given because it was kicked out of bounds on the full by South Adelaide, Brett King. So that was the reason why.
Well, because it lobbed on his foot and went out.
Lobbed on his foot and went out.
Yeah, you talk about unlucky.
Well, Jason McKenzie, Paul Scholar, 3 goals without a miss this season. Played 13 games. He is straight in front. The crowd behind the goals like it. That's usually a pretty good sign. Goal umpire concurs. Centrals have their second on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. The Bulldogs 2-2-14. South Adelaide's 2 straight goals, 12. Grand Central says we've played 12 minutes of the first quarter. And looks like a bit of a shootout on our hands.
Certainly is at this stage. And when you play footy, guys, it's all about awareness. The South Adelaide players all stopped there thinking the ball went out of bounds and was going to be a throw-in. Chris Gowans picked it up quickly, knew the situation, looked up and saw Scholar 40 metres away from him, kicked it low and hard to him, and Scholar was left on his own, marked and kicked truly. Yeah, great players, the Gowans. Very quick thinkers as well as being talented as the ball is in the centre. Series of handballs ends up with Steinburners. Away go the Doggies. The high ball up inside 50. Up they go. That's a good mark to Big Parry in the defensive 50, and a 25-metre penalty against Quinton Graham. As Parry was sort of going back to take his kick. Didn't think there was much in it, but the umpire was right there to adjudicate. And Parry hang on to him, DB. That's the key rule. Chip it out to centre wing. McGlon has the footy. He goes straight up towards half forward. Up they fly. Smith across the front. Oh, that's a terrific mark by Richard Cochran. Gets it over to Steinburner. Steinburner out here to Jimmy Gowans. Jimmy's got it at centre wing. He'll have a bounce. Had one. He'll probably have another bounce. No, yes, he will. And then he'll put it on the right boot. He's looking for the player up there in Slade. Evil Roy ran straight past the footy. Ended up with Bennett. Bennett will tip it short, and he finds Brett King, half-back flank grandstand tag for the Panthers. Yeah, poor disposal there by Jimmy Gowans that time. Brett King goes with a kick up towards the leading player. Good lead too, and a good strong mark, and a lot of attention given to that player, and that player is Tucky. So on the centre wing, he goes with a long kick down to half forward, but it goes straight in the arms of Scholar. The ruckman dropping back into the hole there and has taken the mark and will relieve the pressure. So Scholar at half-back has got the ball, goes in short to that outer side of the ground, and he has found Healy. Healy's going to run right across the ground. He's had 2 bounces already, comes just outside 50, chips it in short. Good kick too, looking for Steinburner. Finds that player in the centre of the ground. He's got the player running for him. That's Cochran. Cochran gets it over to Cochran again. That was received it from Healy, and it goes up with a long kick up the centre half forward. This time up in front. Good mark. And Quinton Graham came from nowhere, jumped from the side of the pack in front, took the mark and held it strongly. Will go back and line up for a shot on goal. Central Districts 2 goals, 2-14 lead. South Adelaide 2 straight goals. That's on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. Quinton Graham to line up 45 metres out directly in front. You're with Phil Herden.
Quite right, Smithy. And Quinton Graham, 13 goals, 3 coming into this afternoon this season. He is straight in front. The kick is off the side of the boot a little bit. That will be a behind to the Doggies. They're third on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. Central Districts 2-3-15. South Adelaide 2 straight 12. It is a 3-point footy game.
That PDK highlight that mark there of Quinton Graham's, DB.
No doubt about that as Nagel kicks it to McGlon. McGlon to Hately. Hately to Big Parry. Parry on the right boot looking for Tucky at centre half forward. Stewie Cochran against him, but Tucky, tell you what, he can mark a footy. There's no doubt about that, and he's got it just outside the 50. Looking for movement. Love gave him something initially, and then he decided to bang it towards half forward. The big man fly Warren from the back couldn't quite grab it. Belted away by Off to hide out there towards the half-back flank. McCabe going to run on it for the Doggies. Did it superbly. Gives it to Hopwood. Hopwood a long handball. Now it comes out here to Healy. Healy faded to get onto the left boot and then decided to do so and bang it up towards half forward. Doggies everywhere here. The mark taken by Chris Gown. He's about 60-65 metres from goal. The lead is on from Shell, but chipping in Big Parry. His defensive work pretty good so far for the Panthers.
Yeah, certainly he's been the big target back there. Goes in short to that outer side of the ground. Finds Bennett. Is that Bennett? No, it's not Bennett.
I think it's Hall.
Hall, it is too, on that outer side of the ground. He's slowing the game up. The South Adelaide player starting to run forward, taking an enormous amount of time. The umpire's now called play on, so he has to hurry. The kick goes up to the centre wing area. It's Cochran in front. He gets him tackled from behind. Is going to get a free kick. So, Central Districts, centre wing, outer side of the ground.
Pretty obvious, that one.
No question in the back there. So he goes in short to Healy in the centre of the ground. He's marked. Haven't gained anything in the actual distance, but now goes in with a long kick up towards the Quinton Graham area. He can't take it this time. Picked it up off his sand shoes. It was Chris Gowns. He's been set upon by 3 players. Just nonchalantly did that, didn't he, DB?
Magnificent pick-up, really. I mean, the ball, he picked it up on the half volley, a high ball coming in. I mean, that would have been nice and difficult, but he made it look easy, as you called it, Smitty.
He certainly did make it look easy. OK, the umpire to bounce the ball. Half forward, Central's into attack, down goes the bounce. Over the top is Chris Gowns, I think it was. Knocked the ball forward in front of Steinburner. He can't pick the ball up. It goes towards the boundary line now, and a throw will take place, and you oohed it hard there, Phil.
Oh, I just thought Steinburner there, great pace, because he started that contest at, probably about 5 metres to the south of the ball, ended up the first one when it went tap to the north.
Yeah, he is known for his speed, of course, and he's done some great dashes on this ground as the ball is stumped down to Hanby, it was. Hanby got it over there to, I think it was Nagel. Nagel's high ball towards centre wing. Big Scholar cleverly tapped it back, but the ball's gone out of bounds to the boundary umpire, who was in the perfect position to see that. So there'll be a boundary throw in centre wing outer side of the NAP Oval. Big men to do battle. Big Scholar and Brett King. No sign of the hedge yet. Oh, yeah, the hedge is down there at the forward pocket.
He's in the forward pocket.
Yeah, as the ball is tapped down and going at the bottom of the pack, Bello. Did it superbly. Got it out to Jimmy Gowns. He gave it over to Richard Cochran. Onto the left boot goes Cochran. The lead is on from Graham. And again, Parry. Terrific defensive work by Big Parry. Has drifted across to that half-back flank, taking the mark just outside the 50.
Yeah, Parry doing the role you'd normally expect Gerard Bennett to do. So they haven't robbed Peter to pay Paul, because Bennett's on Shell doing a decent job there, and Parry filling in nicely at centre half back.
Yeah, great courage shown by Parry there, running back, and you knew that the players were coming at him and didn't deviate. So good to see some good courage here shown by the big man. OK, they do hold the ball up. The umpire again has called him to play on. So Parry goes with a long kick up towards the centre area. It's going to go straight in the arms of, or you would have thought it was in the arms of Scholar, but he dropped it. Now the South Adelaide with the numbers. It comes out this time from Davis. He's got it out towards that outer side of the ground. King's in there. He stoops low, picks the ball up. He's given it over to his teammate there, who's missed it, left it behind, and that was Stevens. And that gave the Central Districts opportunity to come on there and hold the ball in the area, jump on it, and the umpire says, I'll have it.
Yeah, it was good work initially by Stevens, wasn't it, Phil?
Yeah, to get front position, but, Central Districts have been a lot cleaner with their ball handling. On a turnover, they'll make you pay. South Adelaide, they won the 50-50 contest there, but couldn't make full use of it.
Yeah, just before that, he actually tapped it down to King at centre wing. King ran onto it, gave it back to him, but as you heard, Smitty Cooley overran the footy.
Their bounce down came in, and it got knocked straight towards the boundary line, and a throw will take place outer side of the ground here. And it is Central's 15 leading the Panthers 12. The umpire throws the ball back in. Scholar up against King. King gets the ball back towards the boundary line. In there is the player there in Stevens. He socked the ball forward, but it's Cochrane gets the ball out towards his teammate there. This time it was Hay. Hay's got it over towards Cochrane. It's called holding the ball. The umpire's going to allow it to play on. No, he's not. He's going to come back and give it to... It was good umpiring. So Fleming's got the ball. He's got a player loose at half forward, but the kick is an absolute shocker. This allows Centrals to get back there in numbers. They do so now. Comes out the back. Here they go, the Doggies. It comes to the grandstand side. Healy's got the ball. He's got Cochrane running for him if he wants to use it. He does use him now. He's got a chance to have a bat. He's going to run away from Parry, you would suggest, with his pace, but a good chase there by Parry. Comes to inside 50, does Cochrane. The kick's up the way towards Shell, but it goes over the back. Bennett's there first, and he sees the ball over the boundary line. And as you heard Phil Hurton say, Central District's just a little bit sharper.
Well, certainly the transition Central Districts, if they get that turnover off half-back, you almost guarantee it's going to end up inside 40 to 50. But once again, after a long run, the kick inside 50, not quite on the mark.
Yeah, actually, Shell was there first, but it went over his head. It was just a bit too tall for him, and it even went over Bennett's head as well, as Big King tapped it down to that man in question, Bennett. He gave it over there to, I think it was Jackman. Jackman now to Haitley. Haitley into the centre. The bounce will favour the player at the back, and one of those is the player there in Vic Butt. He overran the ball, and Big Scholar's gone in to pick it up. Comes down to Richard Cochrane. He'll go short to Healy. Healy at just forward of centre wing. That's the Doggy side of it. Comes to Jimmy Gound. He gets it over there and gives it to Symes. Symes now tips it short. The lead is on, but gee whiz, it's the shortest pass you've ever seen in your life. Chance for the Doggies now. Handball from Shell to Bello. Bello goes bang from about 25 metres and has put it straight through the high diddle. So good work there by the Doggies. They kicked their third. That was a PDK highlight. Their use of the footy into the forward line there. 3 goals, 3-21. The Panthers 2 straight goals at 12. And thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, DB at Alberton. Port 3-3 leading Sturt 1-1 at Woodville. Eagles 2-4 leading Nord 2-1. West Adelaide 4-4 leading Glenelg 1-2 in the AFL. St Kilda 12-4 leading Melbourne 7-5. Back to the boys.
Interchange here, Nick Manhood coming on for a run. Brett King having a rest, and the Hedge is in the ruck.
Okay, big Hedge up against the Scholar. And the umpire is going to bounce the ball.
I mean, it's a luxury for South. They throw King, they throw Hedge, waiting in reserve, Craig Parry.
Yeah, dead right. And you've got Clark in the actual reserves as well. Well, anyway, no one's got the ball out cleanly there. Comes out. Sorry?
He can't play today.
I know, but they've got him in the reserves as well. That's what I'm saying. So, they, as you say, they are luxury with big men. It comes back to South Adelaide. They've got the ball this time.
First centre clearance.
Fleming, and Fleming goes to the inside 50 looking for Warren. Good defensive work there by the Doggies, but they've got the numbers again. And it's Steinberner gets the ball out towards the Hay direction, and he's been thrown to the ground. And the umpire will say he's going to go back and have a free kick.
Yeah, just watching Chris Gound and Nick Manhood. And Chris Gound probably questioning his manhood on that occasion.
Okay, Hopwood with the ball goes out towards Sibinala. He's got the lucky bounce and falls back into his arms. He's got the player running for him. Chooses to give it to that player. Comes back towards Cochrane now. He gets tackled. Symes, he's been tackled and has held the ball too long, says the umpire. And he did have prior opportunities. So a good decision there by the umpire to award the free kick. And the player with the ball, is Smith. So the umpire's put him on the angle to have a shot at goal. He's not going to let large kick, I tell you. So
I think he was just telling him to go back on a straight line, Smithy.
Okay, so Smith goes to inside 50 there. So the Doggies with 3 players. Good courage shown there, but by the Central District player in Hopwood. It comes out with the ball. It comes out to Sibinala, I think it is. He gets the ball to that outer side of the ground. The Doggies with numbers again. Comes out to Healy, I think, with a long kick up towards the player there. Was pushing the back, and that was Steinberner. He forces the way back and cycles the ball ever so quickly, just forward. Good tackles applied there by the Steinberner. Comes out this time. Shell with the picks up the ball. Here's a long shot. No, it's Shell trying to mark the ball right in the goal square, and he does just that. Who picked up the ball in that area there, Debbie, and had the kick in?
They're just congratulating him now. I'm not sure who it is, but it doesn't matter. He's going to line up from point-blank range. But gee whiz, to be a South Adelaide player with a headache there. That was a brilliant tackle by Quentin Graham.
Yeah, it certainly was. So Daniel Shell to line up Phil Hurton.
Yeah, absolutely. And even I might have a decent shot at this one. He's going to kick from all of about 5 metres out. It was the captain, Daniel Healy, with the kick to Shell in the goal square, and a good read up against Bennett. And Shell will come in, and that is goal number 2 to Daniel Shell. Goal number 4 to Central Districts. The flags are flying here at NAP Oval. It is the Doggies, 4-3-27, starting to open up a break now over South Adelaide. who remain on 2 straight goals, 12. And Centrals have kicked the last 3 sausage rolls.
That's on the Lakes Resort scoreboard, of course, and not a bad crowd here, DB.
No, it's built up nicely, hasn't it? And a few blue and white colours out there, predominantly red, white and blue, of course.
And there is a pocket. We've got a little blind spot on that half-forward flank down there, and there's quite a good crowd down there when I went for a walk earlier.
Yeah, giant weeping willow tree there, blocking our vision, Phil.
Okay.
The umpire's going to ball it up in the centre once again. The hedge up against... where's Scholar? Oh, there he is. He's leaning on his knees. No, that's actually Stepanala, so that's why I didn't pick him up now as it comes to Steinburner. Steinburner's hurried kick out towards half-forward. McCabe there. McGlon in hot pursuit. McCabe tried to pick it up, couldn't do so. McGlon's going to go in and have the first pick up on the ball, but can't keep it in play. And goes out of bounds for a boundary throw in centre wing, out of side. So obviously... Stepanala to give Big Scholar some rest during the game.
Yeah, we heard that before the game, that would be the choice. And, you know, obviously he's a big man, so he'll get in the way. And he's up against Hedge as the umpire throws the ball back in, forces his way to the front position, but no one can take it. In there, I think it was Hamby who got the ball out, but it's stolen again by Steinburner. He kicks the ball up forward. Shell leading in the race of the ball up against Bennett. Bennett got rid of Shell there, but the ball did bounce backwards, and Shell's applied the tackle to Bennett. The ball comes back in. And it comes up from Chris Gowns. He's got it over to Jimmy Gowns, I think it was, who has a shot on goal touched right on the line by Parry. And that sees a point scored to Central. So 4-4-28. That's the Doggies. They lead South Adelaide 2 straight goals, courtesy of the Lakes Resort.
Centre clearances 6-1 to Central. Inside 50, 16-6.
Gee whiz, they should be further on the board.
Parry's doing a sterling job back there in defence for the Panthers as the ball comes off the boot of Nagel to the half-back flank. Oh, beautiful mark, Quinton Graham, PDK, and a 25-metre penalty against...
A 55-metre penalty?
Well, it doesn't matter, he can kick a goal anyway, I think.
No, 25-metre.
25-metre penalty. And, yeah, I'm not too sure. I missed that, to be honest with you, why, but it doesn't matter.
Not alone there.
The umpire was right there to see it, and it'll be Quinton Graham to line up for goal, boys.
Interesting move by Roy Laird, the coach, Phil, to put Quinton Graham at half-forward when he's played so well at
Normally known as a defender, but they've done that today, and this kick is looking a bit better. In fact, it's made the distance, clears the pack. Centrals have kicked 4 goals in a row, and they've broken this one open. 26 minutes gone thanks to Grand Central, and that's exactly what the Doggies are at the moment. 5-4-34, South 2 straight, 12. That is a 22-point lead all of a sudden to Centrals.
Yes, on the Lakes Resort.
Lakes Resort scoreboard,
yes.
of course.
And 25-metre penalty because Big Parry grabbed him when he was going back to second grab as he went back to take his kick.
We do thank Shane Harris for explaining that rule to us as the umpire has got the ball back in the centre circle. He's going to bounce it down. It's Hedge up against Stepanala. They both stand there. Stepanala gets the ball out very well. And it comes forward. This time it is one of the Gowns boys forcing the ball forward. Gets it over towards Bello. He can't take it. In there is Stepanala. Gets the handball out towards Jimmy Gowns. He sockers the ball off. Cleverly done by Jimmy Gowns. Goes to inside 50. This time the player leading for the race of the ball. Holds the ball in the area. That is Graham. Coming over the top, it comes out towards Slade. He keeps the ball in forward. Jimmy Gowns back in there, working. But the umpire says he's not working it too well, so I'll have it back there. But interesting move by Roy Laird to put Quinton Graham up the half forward. We've seen him play so well in defence, DB.
Yeah, look, he reads the game so very well, does Quinton. And, he'll be a headache for the Panthers up there today as the ball is taken by Hanby, kicks around the body. It'll bounce just inside the line and over for a boundary throw-in.
Kick towards touch.
Half-forward flank, yes, it was perfect touch. Half-forward flank almost directly in front of the 5RPH commentary team. The boundary umpire to spin it back into play. About to come in, and now it looks like Hopwood is taking this from the side. Steinburner, they've got all sorts of ruckmen, or trying to be ruckmen
it's
today.
Rough by committee.
Had the ball, lost it though, came out here to, it looked like Tucky that got that kick away, or was it? Not too sure, but anyway, it's up towards centre wing and running onto it is Stevens for the Panthers. He'll chip it now. It couldn't have been Tucky because here he is trying to take a one-hander. The ball comes to ground, he'll get it back to Stevens on the 1-2. Stevens onto the right boot, will centre the ball. There's a player there, Davis. Oh, he got grabbed from behind, ends up with Love. Love will chip it short, but the kick in front was the player there in manhood, went over his head. The Doggies have got it. They drag him to the ground. I think it was one of the Cochrane boys, and there'll be a ball up centre half, well, actually between centre half forward and full forward for the Panthers.
28 minutes gone, courtesy of Grand Central.
It was actually Syme that was at the bottom of the pack.
Okay, Sibilana gets the ball out the back. It comes out with the doggies again with the numbers. Comes to the grandstand side and they find Arnott. So Biscuits has got the ball. He goes in short this time. Finds Hopwood. Hopwood goes that outer side of the ground, and this is where they are damaging the doggies. They've got plenty of space to work into, and that Symes had 2 bounces, comes to the centre of the ground, goes inboard, looks for Chris Gowns, finds him on his own. Chris Gowns in the centre square, pumps it in long towards the leading player there in Shell, I think it is. It comes out, the bounce is a bad one. It comes out to McCabe. McCabe gets it back to Healy. Healy around on the left foot. Very dangerous here is Healy, but it just goes to the right of the goal post and a point is scored. So the doggies now 5-5-35, lead South Adelaide 2 straight goals, and that is on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. And Grand Central tells us we played 29 minutes.
Once again, fantastic transition. Poor delivery inside forward 50.
Yeah, that player that had the ball before was actually Bennett. He's definitely tricked me with his new hairdo. He tricks me every bloody time as the ball's in the back pocket to a haul up towards the centre wing. The mark taken by Parry.
And for those that don't know, Bennett, they might be listening for the first time, Bennett normally has the whitest hair you'd ever seen, like a bleached blonde to supporters to leave the ground so we get the game underway. The start of the second quarter just about underway on the Grand Central time clock. It's just about to start on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. 35 plays, 12. You're on RPH football with Dennis Brown.
The tap down by King was a beauty, only as far as Love, who kicked it out towards half forward. Hay somehow second, third attempt. He's still going to pick up the ball. Amazing performance, really. Gave it over to Chris Cowan. He gave it to Stuart Cochrane. Cochrane to centre wing looking for Evil Roy. Got his hands on the ball but couldn't hold it. Ricochets and taken there by Stevens for the Panthers. Up towards that man Tucky, who's already taken about 5 marks, and he's got the ball half forward flank out of sight. Immediately plays on, gives it to Jackman. Jackman with a high ball, didn't come off the boot as he wanted it to. Up in towards centre half forward, off hands to Hay. Beautifully done to Richard Cochrane. He bangs it towards the centre wing. Up in front, McCabe. The ball thumped away from him. Going to be all the Panthers. There's a couple of them there, and picking it up now is McGlon. McGlon will go to the lead in the pocket of Warren. Warren dropped the mark, went straight to his hand, and why he led to that pocket, he would have been right up on the boundary if he had taken it. There'll be a boundary thrown just inside the 50 grandstand side for the Panthers.
Yeah, I'll agree with that comment, DB. I mean, he had the open space in front of him and then decided to straight for the boundary line.
Okay, the umpire to throw the ball back in. Does that now. Scholar in front, forces the ball forward. In there is Hamby, picks it up, turns around and drops it to the top of the goal square. Can anyone take a mark? No, they can't. Steinburner does it cleverly out the back to Cochrane. Cochrane turns around, goes way out the other side of the ground, has got Arnott there. Good kick, and Hopwood it is. Good kick by Cochrane there. Comes in from Hopwood into Symes in the centre of the ground. They've got the run going now, have the doggies. They go in long this time, and leading to the race the ball is Bennett. Good take there by Bennett. Kept it in front of him. Forces the ball to inside 50. Comes out quickly. The umpire allows it to go on. It's kicked up there by Quinton Graham. Back over his head. In there is South Adelaide with the numbers this time. And so they'll relieve the pressure through Haitley to that outer side of the ground. The kick's going towards the boundary line. In there and leaving it behind was the doggies player, and that gave the opportunity for the South Adelaide player to come in, pick the ball up and take it over the boundary line.
You saw there in the contrast of the two sides. Central Districts are able to move out of their back lines way too easily. South Adelaide, they tried to clear it, had to go back inside defensive 50, and now it's a neutral situation.
Yeah, an unusual ball error there by Jimmy Gowns as Bing King taps it down. The Panther is away. Jackman's got it half back. Will try and settle the ball. He does to that man Tucky. Another mark to him. He flips it over the top to Love. Love now will put it up towards centre half forward. Big Parry up forward on this occasion. Marks outside the 50. What's he going to do? He thought about bringing it out here to the grandstand side. He's got Davies out here, but he's going to chip it to the lead there of a couple of players. One of those is Warren. Used the ball pretty well in the end of the Panthers, and a PDK highlight the movement of the ball from defence, starting with Jackman, and now Benny Warren will line up and kick from about 48 metres.
Well, Parry must like that end of the ground because he was there in defence in the first quarter. He's down there in attack just to bolster South Adelaide down there. Question is, can they get in enough? And certainly they've started to get some forward 50s in this quarter. Warren's going to come in now. Kicks it from about 40 out. Very slight angle. It's a high kick. Should have the distance. It has the accuracy. That is a goal to South. Their first since the 9-minute mark of the first quarter. Their third, Warren's second. And on the Lakes Resort scoreboard, the Panthers, 3 straight goals, 18. Central Districts 5-5-35.
Similar start to the first quarter with South Adelaide getting the goal quickly. But interesting move by Robbie Pyman, DB, to see Parry up forward. And Tucky getting some marks as well. So maybe the Central's defence are more concerned about Parry. and allowing Tucky to get away. But nevertheless,
Well, he's got young Shannon Hearn on him, which is experience versus the rookie for sure, and I'm not sure about the size either.
Okay, back in the centre of the square, the umpire just about to get the game underway again, throws it up, Scholar up first, gets the ball out towards Vella. He can't take it, but South Adelaide again with the numbers, and they run the ball out to that outer side of the ground. It comes back inboard. Picking it up this time is Nagel. Nagel goes with a quick kick up to half forward. In there and taking the mark is Hanby. Hanby plays on, comes to the grandstand side, has got the player all loose, and that is Davis. And Davis has marked the ball 35 to 40 metres out, slight angle, and South Adelaide got to be impressed with the way they're playing.
Well, all of a sudden they're getting the clearances out, both of the ones in the second quarter, so they've made some adjustments in the midfield. Last few weeks the Panthers have had the ruck advantage, but it hasn't shown up on the scoreboard. At least in the last 5 minutes it has. Davis coming in now, has kicked 19 goals 8 this season. Last week led South's possessions with 26 and kicked 1 goal 2. He's going to kick from 40 metres out, probably a 35, 40 degree angle. Comes in now, it's a high kick, will certainly have the distance. It has the accuracy as well. So South Adelaide have kicked back-to-back goals and just starting to nudge themselves back into the contest. The Panthers, 4 straight goals, 22. They are Trail Central's 5-5, 35. And thanks to black and white trucks and removals, let's move it right around the grounds.
At Albert Noble, Port 4-4 leading Sturt 3-1, Eagles 5-7 leading Nord 3-3, West 6-5 leading Glenelg 3-3, still half-time at the MCG, St Kilda 13-6 leading Melbourne 7-6, back to the boys.
Here at the NAP Oval, the Tigers coming back at the Bloods there as the umpire's about to throw it up in the centre. So first 2 sausage rolls of the second quarter to the Panthers. Up she goes, Scholar in opposition to King. The ball to ground. The Panthers look like coming out with the footy once again. Up towards Smith. He overran. The ball comes to Nagel. Nagel can kick a footy. He'll kick it from right on the 50 towards full foot. Oh, pushing the back there from Warren. The umpire was right there and let it go.
How can you not see that?
Well, he obviously was looking at something else, but there was no doubt Warren was at the back and he's pushed his opponent fair in the hammer and tack. And the ball has gone through for a minor score. It'll be Hay with the footy to kick in for the Doggies.
Tyson Hay to bring the ball back in, kicking to the northern end, kicks it to himself, now comes to the grandstand side. He's got Symes, also he's got Scholar, and it goes to that player, Scholar in front, but well done by King to force Scholar under the ball. King marks the ball, goes back quickly, great kick too by King, has found the leading player there in Smith, so Smith's got the ball 55 metres out, too far out to score, lobs it up into the goal square. In there flying high as Warren. He can't take the ball and punched clear by Arnott. Sees the ball goes towards the boundary line. And that was Jeremy Off-the-Hyde that punched the ball. I apologise for that, but goes towards the boundary line. Its run will take place. Some
good signs starting to emerge here. Of course, now they've got Parry up there in ruck. Not sure his opponent's going to be, but can they make use of this advantage and get the goal on the set shot?
And they come. Scholar comes in over the back of his Tucky. Hooked the ball back towards the player there in Davis. He gets the ball out towards even further back, and that comes from Jackman. Jackman gets it over the top. It's south of the numbers this time. Hamby it was. It got over to Nagel. Nagel goes with a quick kick up to the goal square. Warren's going to fly from behind. He can't take it, but a free kick has been given there. This time it's going to go to the Centrals player in Cochrane. Didn't see what it was for, DB.
No, I didn't either, but he was in the middle of the pack, so he might have copped one high. And it's actually Richard Cochrane with the footy. Last line of defence will bring it out to Tyson Hay. Hay marks the ball still in the defensive 50. Gets support from Hearn. Hearn doesn't quite get to the ball. He bounces in front of him. He gathers it nicely there. Will go over the top to Symes. Symes now for the Doggies. Will flip it back to Hay. Hay at half-back. Grandstand side will chip it short to Steinberner, and Steinberner's got it in the true centre wing position on the NAP Oval. Bangs a long ball towards half-forward. Out in front there was Stevens for the Panthers. It ricochets to Nagel. He's had a few touches in the second quarter. Handballs at the Davis. Davis with a booming handball there to Hall. Hall back to Jackman, who's come through from half-back. Jackman on the right boot up there for Tucky. He's had his feet too. The thump away from Richard Cochrane to Hearn. Hearn got the handball away. Ended up with Stewie Cochrane. He'll handball out to Scholar. And Scholar at centre half-back will get it over the top to Hopwood. Hopwood back to Stewie Cochrane, kicks it out to centre wing, and the Dogs are running, and out there is a Biscuits Arnott.
Goes up towards centre half forward, and a good strong mark there by the South Adelaide defender.
Hall.
That's Hall. He plays on quickly. South with the numbers again, working the ball well through the midfield. They've got lots of players there. Comes a hard kick up towards Hamby at half forward. Hamby's in front, almost got spoiled by his own player. But that was manhood, but Hamby's marked the ball half forward. He goes in with a quick kick to the leading player this time. He comes out and falls short in front of Tucky. He can't get it, but Richard Cochrane's in there. He gets it over to Hay. Hay back to Hearn on the old 1-2. Hearn now has a bounce. He comes out to half-back. It's got Parry closing in. Goes with a long kick up to the centre-half forward position. Shell's in there. He can't take the mark. In there also was Healy. He couldn't take it. Comes out. Jackman's got it. He gets it over back towards Bellow. Stolen it. He gives it over to one of the Gowns, and that is Chris. He goes in with a kick up towards the leading player. Great kick by Chris Gowns. And on the end of that was Shell, and they put it to the top of the point, and Shell did not let him down. Great kick by Chris Gowns, and the work there by Bellow was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, just some half-back to half-back rebound work going, and eventually the class of Chris Gowns to find Shell on the lead. Looked like he was going to be short, but he slid and just picked it up off the grass as he comes in now looking for goal number 3. Will kick from about 49 out. It's a long kick, has the distance, it's going to ride that goalpost. Central fans like it. Goal umpire concurs. That is Shell's third, and Central's respond. The Doggies 6-5-41, South 4-1-25, the Lakes Resort scoreboard, and Centrals have got back their 16-point margin.
Yeah, costly turnover there. Jackman actually had the foot in hand, balled it straight to Bellow. Bellow got the shock of his life, and of course the end result, the sausage roll to the Doggies.
Yeah, with a kick from Chris Gowns, a real PDK highlight. Had to turn around and quickly kick it between a couple of players as we see Steinberner coming off, and coming on for Centrals is Kane Officer for his first run. You're on RPH Football with Dennis Brown.
So it's 6-5-41 to 4-1-25. Doggies in front on the Lakes Resort scoreboard as the umpire bounces it down in the centre. The big men to do battle, King and Scholar. Down it comes the Panthers, attempted to go away. Davis almost onto the footy. There's a couple of Doggies there. Big Scholar, second attempt was very good. The kick out towards half-back though, and it has been marked out there, and I'm not quite sure who that is from the Panthers. Got the socks down. Going to chip it out here towards Nagel. Nagel now with the footy. Nagel immediately onto the left boot towards half forward. Big Parry. Oh, might have caught one in the back. He did. And the umpire was right there to see that one. And Parry now outside the 50. He's got a couple of Panthers loose to his left-hand side, but decides to go back and bomb it long. I reckon he's about 55 metres from goal. He's still got the footy. He'll be called to play on shortly. The umpire now calling him to play on. So high ball, he's just shifted into that full forward area. Up they fly, almost the mark there to Tucky. Yap grabs the ball, gets it over the hand. He goes one way then the other. Somehow gets the ball to left boot. It wobbles into the pocket. Manhood. This will be an amazing goal, but he centred it, which wasn't a bad thing to do. Diving on the footy with Smith. Player over the top of him. Almost a free kick to Smith. The ball's still in contention in the square for the Panthers. They pick up the footy. Warren is there, but the umpire will ball it up right in the square for the Panthers.
Yeah, good play by Smith there to dive on the ball and hold in the air. He's certainly going to go for a minor score. They need to kick goals. Down goes the bounce at the top of the square. They force the ball forward. A quick kick off the ground by Hamby has kicked the goal. So the ruck work there. South Adelaide player in Hamby had enough now to get to the goal side. Centrals have got to try to thump the ball through, but the goal has been scored by Hamby, his first, and South Adelaide now are making a charge. They've got 5, and Centrals have got 6. So 6-5-41 to 5-1, and that is on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. Let's go back to the studio, courtesy of our friends at Black and White Trucks and Removals. Let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, Daryl. Port 4-6 leading Sturt 4-1. Eagles 5-7 leading Nord 4-4. West 8-6. Glenelg 4-4. Peter Simmons moved down to the boundary to coach. And still half-time at the MCG. St Kilda 13-6 leading Melbourne 7-6. Back to the boys.
Umpire with the footy. About to ball it up. That South Adelaide player before with the socks down was Tommy Tarrant, who's obviously come onto the ground. The ball taken by Chris Gowns. Gives it to McCabe. McCabe up towards half forward and in front Healy. And that's where you've got to be. Well, waste no time. Gives it back to McCabe on the 1-2. Gives it in towards Shell. Long lead, and Shell marks out in front of Bennett. And he'll kick from about 35 metres.
Well, certainly on the lead. Daniel Shell has a couple of yards on Jared Bennett. Maybe in the marking contest one-on-one, it could be an even battle, but Bennett just doesn't have the speed to match Shell. As we have the interchange, Brad Curry coming on, the captain Daniel Healy having a rest. And Shell has kicked 3 without a miss today, has the kicking boots on thus far. Will kick from about 35. Umpire looks at it, sail over his head. That is another goal for Central. Shell's 4th. He moves to 49, trailing Warren on 52 for the Ken Farmer medal. Centrals, they've got their 7th. The Doggies 7-5-47. South 5-1-31. Clear centre clearance, forward on the lead. Good, clean, crisp football.
It certainly was. The South Adelaide player in Tarrant playing from behind there. You need to play in front. And DB, you said before the game that Shell's more than likely going to kick 10 straight. He's certainly well and truly on that way.
Well, normally when he has a day off the previous week, he turns it around the following week, and he's done that a couple of times this year, so he's well on the target.
Umpire bounces the ball down there. Scholar gets the ball quickly, taps it down to, can't pick up the player. He's been tackled upon. That's one of the Gowns boys, I think.
Yes.
And the umpire says it's not going anywhere. That was Jimmy Gowns.
Chris, in fact.
Chris it was. Down it goes again. In this time, Scholar gets the ball out towards that outer side of the ground. South of the numbers. This time it comes out through Smith. He comes back onto the right foot. Kick. Looks for his teammate. I thought he was actually going for King, but it goes over the top. It comes in again with South Adelaide with Love. Goes up to half forward. In there is Parry. He couldn't take it. Comes back to Davis. Davis has got a teammate there who's been tackled high, and that is Chris Hall, and he will get the free kick. No doubt about that. So Chris Hall goes in just that one-step kick. He comes to the grandstand side, and the kick there was intercepted again by Centrals, and they've got the numbers running. Yeah. This is his Hearn. He has his second bounce, comes to outside the half-forward area, goes to the kick. The kick's an absolute shocker. He's turned over. This time, South Adelaide through the player there. That's Love again. He gets it over the top to King. King back to... no, it's not... it's Fleming who kicks the ball up towards inside. Good kick by Fleming. And on the end of that was Warren. And Warren keeps leading to that pocket, makes the kick a little bit harder.
And if you watch the South players going around Craig Parry, he's the one that put the pressure on Hearn that forced the miscue with the kick. Parry let Hearn know about it as it was coming back. And now Warren will have the shot. It is a shootout between the full forwards today. Warren has 2. He has 52 for the season. Shell 49. 3 goals the difference in the race for the Ken Farmer medal. Warren now looking to extend that margin. The kick slides across the face of goal. That is a behind. The first miss from Warren this afternoon. Second miss for the Panthers. They are 5-2-32, trailing Central 7-5-47 on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. It is a 15-point footy game.
Hay brings the ball back in very quickly, goes to that outer side of the ground, finds Chris Gowns. As another interchange has been made by Centrals. We'll get that for you in a minute. Chris Gowns goes to that outer side of the ground. The wing, the player there that came on, Phil.
Yes, Stewie Cochran off and Sibanala on.
Okay, so Tommy Tarrant's got the free kick on that outer side of the ground. I think it's Tarrant. No, it's gone back to King. Is that King?
No, I'm not sure.
Anyway, he comes inboard and he comes to the player there, and that player there is Davis. Davis goes with a quick kick inside 50, looking for Warren, but good play there by Central District's defender in off the hide. He's marked the ball, goes to that outer side of the ground. Again with numbers, Central's clear out of the offensive action. This is...
Officer, I think.
Officer, is it? Kane Officer, who's just onto the ground. It is 2. He goes up towards the centre wing area, and great kick and a real PDK highlight there was Arnott, who's marked the ball. Centre wing, outer side of the ground here at the NAP Oval, which is bathed in sunshine. He's going to come back inboard to Hay. No, he's not. He's now been asked to play on. Goes with the kick up towards... Curry. What's happening there? Curry, is the umpire's just blowing the whistle, or is that just me hearing that? No, Curry's got the ball.
Because it was a mark.
Well, everyone stops. So Curry goes now with a long kick towards centre half forward in front. No one can take the mark there, but it's just all the doggies. The player has a shot on goal. That was Arnott, and it's gone to the right of the goalpost, and the umpire says, I'll have a point here, boys. So now Central 7 goals, 6-48, leading South 5-2. That's courtesy of the Lakes Resort.
Yeah, Nagel immediately brings it in to Chris Hall, still in a defensive 50. Hall now, the left footer, what's he going to do?
Very quiet for a game of footy, isn't it?
Yeah, not a lot of noise out there. It is a big oval, of course, as Hall goes right out to that back pocket, and he's got player out there in Stevens. Stevens now will bring it up towards centre wing to Jackman, and Jackman out in front, takes the mark. Front of Officer, who's just come onto the ground. So not a lot to kick to, really. So he's got to bomb it in high. Looking there for Tucky, but first there was Sibanala. He got his head down at the bottom of the pack. The ball in contention. Merging with Sibanala. Sibanala did it superbly. And finally it's Hay who gets the footy and bangs a long left footer. It's a prodigious kick right up towards full forward. Off hands to Shell. Had a touch of the fumble. I think he thought about kicking goal number 4 before he had the footy. And consequently the Panthers have got it through Bennett. And Bennett will bring it out towards Hall. Hall into defensive 50 now. Gives it over here to Jackman, I think it is, who dodges and then round and then kicks it short. In fact, it was McGlom. McGlom now into Smith. Smith immediately looking up there for Parry. Parry up in front through his hand, though, out the back. First there is Sibanala. Gathered it in nicely. Will handball out there to Chris Gown. Gives it back there to Hearn. Hearn onto the right boot will chip it short. Not a good kick, and he's found Smith by himself at centre wing for the Panthers, and they're away.
They certainly they bring it inboard again, and it's Nagel with the ball. Smack bang in the centre of the NAP Oval here. He's had a lot of touches in this quarter.
Has he what?
And goes out towards Smith. The kick's got to be spot on. It's Luck's a fortune because he dropped it, but Smith goes back inboard. Good kick this time by Smith. It's found Hall. He goes with the kick up towards Warren. It's going over the back, and it is Symes who's marked the ball. He goes that outer side of the ground. They've got the numbers. Phil, you've got the finger up there?
Yeah, Parry's last rock contest took out Tucky in the process.
Okay, so up they go. South Adelaide now at half-back with the numbers this time. They'll come back inboard. They do that now, and they've got Hamby in the centre of the square loose. They've tried to find the player there, but the kick was short. He goes back inboard looking for Nagle. Central Districts now get the numbers there, and they'll hold the ball in the contest. And on the Lakes Resort scoreboard, 7-6-48. That's Central, South Adelaide 5-2-32, and courtesy of Grand Central, we've played 18 minutes of this second quarter.
Yeah, skill level just down a little bit. Both sides turning over the footy as Hanby emerges from the centre with a high ball off the side of the boot, up towards the 50-metre arc. Jumping up high was Hay. It came to Davis. Davis got the handball out there looking for Hall, who's playing in front, gathered it and gave it back to Davis. Davis saw Manhood out the corner of the eye. That's the way the footy's gone. Still just inside the ball, kept running, but Manhood's got it and will put it towards the square. Players will set themselves. Parry in front, but at the back off to Hyde. The ball had just too much carry on it for Big Parry, and consequently off to Hyde now has tipped it off to Bellow, and Bellow onto the left boot will go out to half-back, and the mark taken out there by, I think that's Officer. So Officer at half-back will tip it inboard now to Hopwood. Hopwood's got Bellow running past. That's the way the footy goes. Onto the left boot goes Marco Bellow up towards that man Graham in front, takes the mark for the doggies.
Oh, good mark.
And Quinton Graham, a PDK highlight, the mark on his chest. He's a long way from Sausage Rolls though, as he kicks it to the long leader Shell and takes the mark. That's a great bit of play there by the doggies, and Shell leading out has taken a very good mark.
Yeah, Hanby was the man who was supposed to fill the hole there, stuck the arm out. I'm not quite sure if he deviated or not from that contest because Daniel Shell was coming with speed, and by my reckoning he's kicked the 4 looking for 5.5 a footy, and he's going to kick from pretty much on 50. Angle should not be a problem. Oh. He gives it a roost. It sinks like a stone on the bound, on the line. Steinburner marks. Coles, thank you very much. And Centrals have got their 8.
Well, the kick there from Shell was a real finger breaker. It didn't look like it was going to make the distance, but all of a sudden it had the carry there, Phil, and Steinburner could have let it go and would have been a goal anyway, but marked it right on the line and kicked truly.
Well, Steinburner was quite happy to spectate on the goal. I want to go over his head. It landed on his lap. He turned around, kicked it goal. But thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, Phil. Port 7-6 leading Sturt 4-2. Nord 6-7 leading the Eagles 5-8. West 9-8 leading Glenelg 4-5. St Kilda 16-7 leading Melbourne 7-6. Back to the boys.
Back here it is the Doggies 8-6-54 leading South 5-2-32. The umpire bounced the ball. Scholar gets the ball towards the centre wing. Bellow picks it up. He kicks it up to half forward. A real shocking kick too. Bounces towards the boundary line now. Is it going to beat all and sundry over the boundary line? No, it's not. Kept in by South Adelaide. This time they do run the ball over the boundary line, and the throw will take place. Grandstand side, centre wing at the NAP Oval, and you're on RPH Football with Dennis Brown.
Yeah, in the shadows of that big tree we were talking about earlier. Half-forward flank grandstand side for the Doggies. As the ball comes spinning back into play. Scholar front position, got a right hand to the ball down there to Bellow. Bellow with a handball over the top. He gives it there to Symes. Symes will chip it inboard. He's got Biscuits Arnott there with the footy. He'll go looking for Big Shell, who runs out for coming across. So Jackman took the mark in front of Shell. He read that superbly. He tips it short to Smith. Smith immediately now gives it on to Love, I think it was. He kicks it up towards half forward, but taking the mark there is Sivanava. Back it goes to Bellow. Bellow's long bomb. There's a couple of dogs back there, and one of those is that the shepherding, said the umpire, and it's going to go the way of the Panthers. McCabe took the mark, but he said the ball had been shepherded before it was inside the 5-metre range, and consequently it's McGlon with the footy. He goes right to the outer side. There's young Stephen Todd, controls it beautifully with the left hand, then kicks the ball out towards centre wing. Hall's got to get there first. It doesn't beat him over the boundary line. He's still got it in play. Did so, kept it in play, then tipped it short. Looking for Alwyn Davey, is on the ground and takes it on the second grab just outside the 50 for the Panthers.
Yeah, Davey just onto the ground. He goes in long with a kick up towards the big fella at the tall timber in King. He can't mark a good play there by the Central's defender, and he's chipped in and taken the mark. So he'll come grandstand side. It's got Cochrane. The kick's a little bit of a stray, but Cochrane's got plenty of time to sit there and watch it. Props, picks it up now, goes in over the top to the leading player there in one of the Gowns boys. That is Chris Gowns. He's marked at half-back, goes into the centre of the ground. He's got Bello. Bello's got the player running for him. Now the doggies are away. This player there is Arnott with the ball, goes to that centre half-forward area, and that is one of the Gowns. Jimmy Gowns gets it back towards Arnott. Arnott's on the 1-2, done that very well. Now he's got the leading player there in Shell. Shell's up and high, couldn't take the mark, but the numbers have come down, and it is South. Two Central's players are down. We'll get that forward to watch that for us. He taps the ball towards the boundary line, but Steinberger with sheer pace gets the ball, goes back inboard to Bello, finds that player. So Bello stops and props. And he's got a couple of leading players now. He's going to decide to go in long to the tall timber, and why wouldn't he? Goes up to the tall timber, up there, over the back, taking a mark is Shell, and he's going to go back. He's already kicked 4. He's going to go back and line up for his 5th in the first half of football, Phil Hurton.
Yeah, so this one, probably not going to have the distance hassles he had last time, and Shell and Quentin Graham went up for the mark. We saw Parry and Tucky clash, and Tucky came off. Quentin Graham and Shell both slow to get up, but once the football came as well, Shell made a miraculous recovery.
As you do.
As you do. And he will have a shot now. South about to make the interchange. Josh Vick about to come on as Shell takes his kick. That's the beehive for the half. That's Central District's 9th. The Doggies 9-6-60. They've extended their quarter-time lead. In fact, they've kicked the last few goals here in the match. Central District's 9-6-60, South 5-2-32. The margin now, a record for the match, 28 points as Symes comes off and the captain back on, Daniel Healy.
Yes, and the umpire about to ball it up in the centre. In fact, the boundary umpires are still relaying the footy. It went out into the crowd, and such was the length of the kick by Danny Shell. And the umpire just getting it now in the centre to throw it up. So the Doggies have opened up a break here. 9-6-60 to 5-2-32.
They've added 4 straight goals this quarter, haven't they? No points at this stage.
5-1. 4-1.
4-1. The umpire bounces the footy. Have a look at that for a bounce. A beauty as the ball is tapped down there by Big Parry. Chance now for the Panthers that they can run onto it. Jackman was out there, but the Doggies are in there in numbers. Chris Gowns had it momentarily. Jackman goes in again. The ball out the back. The Doggies have got the chance if they can pick it up, trying to run with the footy. It's Healy just back onto the ground. Uses the right boot. We don't see it very often, but it's not a bad kick up towards full forward. The ball on the ground. Big Scholar tried to tap it forward, looking for his teammate. It'll come out the back. Sibonala's there. Turns around and fires it. Gives it over to one of the Gowns boys, who turns around and just misses to the left-hand side. It might have been Jimmy Boy, and it was, in fact. So Jimmy Gowns might have scored.
That too, I tell you.
He would. 9 goals, 7-61, and the Panthers 5 goals, 2-32.
Okay, South.
And that's on the
Lakes Resort scoreboard. They bring it in grandstand side. It comes out this time. A shocking kick, turned over, goes straight into the arms of Chris Gowns. He goes to the true centre half-forward position. What a great kick. Finds Bello. Bello 25 metres out, directly in front. And how costly are the turnovers being?
Well, no excuse for that one. And I would imagine Robert Pyman will be bellowing at that player.
Fair point.
Well, South got within 10 points. Centrals have kicked the last 4 goals, and look, Monty's to make it 5 in a row as Bello comes in 20 metres out straight in front. No problem whatsoever as he lobs the ball into the Centrals goal-to-goalers. That is Bello's 2nd this afternoon. The Doggies have got 10 sausage rolls thus far. 10-7-67, South 5-2-32. A 35-point margin now, and that's on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. And thanks to Grand Central, 25 minutes gone of the second quarter.
Yeah, Central's doing it very, very well at the moment. A little sluggish to start with, but certainly coming home very well.
Yeah, it's funny. South Adelaide can't run out the quarters. Their last goal in the first quarter was at the 9-minute mark. Their last goal of the second quarter, the 8-minute mark.
Okay, the umpire with the ball back in the centre circle. It is Sibonala up against King, I think it is. No, Parry in ruck now. Comes out. This Parry actually got the ball down. Soccers it out quickly. In there for the Doggies, though, is Arnott. He picks the ball up, kicks it to centre half forward area. No one can take a mark there. South Adelaide with the numbers this time going in there. And one of the Gowns boys, but he's forced out. Comes out the back. They've done it very well. Healy with the ball on that left foot. Looks for the big fella. Good use of the body. A real PDK highlight. And that was you, Sibonala. Stuck the body out, took the one-handed mark, and a great PDK highlight there, Dennis Brown.
Yeah, but even better PDK highlight before that by Danny Shells to first and second attempt, and then onto the left boot. Great play, and of course the mark by Sibonala.
Well, Yves Sibonala is about to experience something different. Has not kicked a brass razoo in his 14 games played thus far this season. Distance should not be a problem. He's going to kick 35 metres out straight in front.
Oh.
Distance ain't a problem, but the accuracy causes some issues as the half-time siren goes. Sibanala's kicked her behind. And Central District's at the half-time, 10-8-60 out. South Adelaide, 5-2-32.
The Shell's mark 55 metres out. Can he kick the goal, Phil Hurden?
Yeah, well, he's a fair way out even for Daniel Shell. He's aiming like he's going to go for it. Players, there's vacant goal square momentarily. Now they go back. It's a huge run. It's a goal. Number 7. And the Doggies fans, number 8, apologies. Well, is 8 enough? Maybe not for the Doggies fans. That is their 19th this afternoon. They go to 19-10-124. South 7-3-45. And that was a huge kick, another PDK highlight. And thanks to Black and White Trucks and Removals, let's move it right around the grounds.
Thanks, Phil. Port 16-9 leading Sturt 9-10. Eagles 10-14 leading Nord 9-11. West 19-12 leading Glenelg 5-11. Melbourne have defeated St Kilda by 88 points, and at Subiaco, West Coast 3-10 leading Hawthorn 2-5. Back to the boys.
I think that was St Kilda defeated Melbourne by 88 points there, and the Lakes Resort scoreboard certainly shows that Central Districts are winning this game quite comfortably. As the ball comes out, it was Healy who got the ball forward. South Adelaide with the numbers this time. The kick handball comes over the top. South running through this midfield. Then it comes out with Davis. I think he's got the ball in the centre of the ground. It is Davis. He goes back on the stops and props on the right foot. Comes to Warren. Oh, another PDK highlight there. A great mark by Warren. Played on quickly. Got it over to his teammate in Manhood. Manhood centres the ball, but it's all the Doggies there doing as they please. Comes out. That was Hearn has found Slade. And Slade will play on, no doubt about that. Goes, turns it around and is looking for the player there in Cochrane. He can't take it. Comes back to Stuart Cochrane now. Turns around on that outer side of the ground looking for Jimmy Gowns. Great kick. And it is Chris Gowns who's marked the ball on that outer side of the ground. He goes inboard looking for Cochrane and has found that player. He plays on quickly over the top. And they just keep going in it. And another goal on the board. That time it is to Bello. And Bello has got his 4th. And the Doggies doing it as they wish here, DB. And another PDK highlight here from Warren. That a great mark.
Yeah, it was a great mark. But unfortunately, the kick from Jackman let his teammates down. And they just took it away, the Dogs. And a series of handballs inside the 50, Phil.
Well, you're right. They're playing with South Adelaide at the moment. For Central Districts, you'd almost wish that the grand final was being played next week. They would be absolutely backable favourites. And South Adelaide, hard to believe 5 weeks ago, this was the second best team in the competition. They're well on track now for their 5th straight loss. Finals hopes and percentage fast fading.
I tell you what, they're just about unbackable for grand finalists now.
Down goes the bounce. Up she comes, and the tap down by King was a beauty. But the Doggies were there momentarily running onto the footy. In fact, there's a free kick being found. I think that might have been because of an attempted trip, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so, yep.
Something similar to that. And the ball with Love, I think it is. He'll chip it out here towards the centre wing, and he's got Tommy Tarrant. Tarrant takes the ball, immediately plays on, bombs it up inside the 50, but again a poor kick going inside their 50, and Sibanala, who hasn't been their worst player by a long shot for the Doggies, he kicked off the side of the boots, and you give him a rap. He's kick almost going to go out of bounds in front of Biscuits-Arnott, who somehow keeps it into play, did it well, and chips it along the centre wing, and he's found Slade. Slade with a sweeping handball, gives it over here to Hopwood. Hopwood's got players further afield. One of those is Chris Gowns. He's got the footy down. He'll go bang. The lead is on from Bello. It's into the pocket. Bello, he's going to be first there. Will he be able to pick it up? He kicks it off the ground, but it's gone out of bounds. In actual fact, the goal umpire signalling to the boundary umpire, who was that far behind, it was like one of those horses I continually back. And there'll be a boundary throw in that right full forward pocket.
Know the feeling, DV, know the feeling. But yeah, I mean, that's what happens. Central's move it down so quickly. Bad day for South Adelaide. This is already the highest score they've conceded, and they've had back-to-back games where they've been beaten by the biggest margin of the season. As Steinburner coming off to a rousing reception, Luke McCaig back on.
Okay, the umpire's throwing the ball back in. Again, it's got a group of players around it. Parry trying to force the ball out. Does so, but gets it at that outer side of the ground. Healy's in there for the Doggies. He'll pick the ball up.
Well done.
Just taps the ball back. Central's again with the numbers, and that was Arnott. He's found Jimmy Gowns. And Jimmy Gowns too far out to score, comes right across the front looking for Healy. And Healy has honoured with a great lead, leapt up in front of his opponents and has taken a mark. And he's already kicked 8. Can he get the 10 that DB said that he was going to get before the game?
Well, I'll tell you what, he's taken on not just two South defenders, but he's taken on Tucky, who's been moved back down, and we know what a great marker Tucky is. No mean feat from Daniel Shell. I mean, this is, if you're a Essentials fan, this is fantastic entertainment. Just for $8 adults, you're not going to get any better value for that. As Shell comes in from 50, unloads, goal umpire just watches it sail over his head. That is number 9 for Daniel Shell. Lakes Resort scoreboard, Central 21-10, 136, South 7-3-45. The margin 91 points. The crowd can sense Daniel Shell 10 goals, and a 100-point thumping is on the way.
Yeah, Grand Central tells me we played 12 minutes of this final quarter, and if you're a South Adelaide supporter, it is going to be a long drive back.
Actually, I saw some people leaving at three-quarter time, but thankfully they were only Central fans waiting to get on the bus to go to Amy Stadium.
Fair enough too, yes. The Crows playing tonight, and what a game that's going to be too. As the umpire bounces the ball down again, Scholar up high, gets the ball back, and Bello takes it out of the centre square, gets it over the top. Great play by Bello. Gets it over to Officer. Officer on the left foot, chips it up ever so cleverly in front. Great work by, great reading there by the big fella in Scholar. Goes back, has a shot at goal. Is it going to bounce up? Shell's in there, bounces through. No, it's socket off the ground.
Evil Roy,
and that is Evil Roy Slade, who's got his first goal on the board, and the Doggies have got their 22nd. So 22nd goal for the Doggies. 22 goals, 10, 142. Absolutely wiping the floor with South Adelaide, who are 7 goals, 3, and that is on the Lakes Resort scoreboard. And I tell you what, a lot of the Panthers players won't be going down to the Lakes Resort to have a holiday. I'll tell you, they need to get out there and work hard and do some damage, because they are getting an absolute flogging in anybody's business.
Well, it really is a double whammy. Is it not only do you come away without the premiership points, but this is now 97 points, and their percentage will drop from 51 to about 49.
What will that do to the Doggies' percentage?
Well,
Phil?
the Doggies' percentage today should be better than the Eagles. We'll give you the official stats at the end of the game.
Down goes the bounce. Up they go again. The tap by Parry, taken by Stevens momentarily. A player there grabbed high for South Adelaide, but the umpire said play on as it come back to Parry. He gives it now to Jackman. Jackman onto the right boot, up towards half forward. Not a good kick. In fact, it wobbled off the boot. It was a screw punt, a wobbly old screw punt, that ended up there with Hearn. Hearn goes way out the centre wing to Healy on the outer side. Healy now bursts through with a left footer up inside the 50. Players set themselves. Oh, player up before acceptances for the Panthers down the ground. The handball over the top there by Bello. Chance now with the Doggies. Running onto it is McCabe. McCabe now gets back onto the right boot if he can. No, holding the ball to the umpire. No, he says play on as it comes to the Panthers in the back pocket. That player there is Nagel, who chips it in and finds McGlon. McGlon now
Fleming
breaks away. Fleming, is it okay? Fleming's kick now and will be marked here by Davis. Davis now onto the left boot. He goes for the Panthers. The high ball up inside 50. Warren out in front through his hands though. Pouncing on the footy there is young Stevens. Kicks to a vacant spot in front of the goal. Out comes McCabe. He's trying to pick up the footy. Davey is there with him, but the ball falls through for the minor score to the Panthers. They go to 7-4-46. The Doggies 22-10, 142 on the Lakes Resort scoreboard.
South Adelaide's first score since the 14-minute mark of the third quarter.
Yeah,
First score.
Disappointing. South Adelaide, the Doggies are starting to become very Daniel Shell orientated too. McCabe was up there in that pocket, turned around and tried to get it to Shell, but didn't do so. The kick is in, coming to the centre of the ground. South Adelaide with the numbers there, comes to Hamby. Hamby now goes in short and has found his teammate. DB, what are you laughing at there, mate?
Big Scholar couldn't stop and absolutely poleaxed Big Parry, and then he apologised to him afterwards.
Oh, good teamwork there. Okay, so who's that player? Can't quite pick that. Is that...
Might be Davis.
Davis. Okay, so Dave will give it to Davis. Has got the ball play. Goes in with a high kick up to Fleming, it was. Goes up towards the Scholar direction. He was sport by his own teammate in Subbanala. Comes back there this time to Jimmy Gowns. He goes that outer side of the ground. Healy on his own again. He's got Chris Gowns leading for him. He finds that player. Now, they do it so well, the Doggies out of defence. They've got Cochrane leading now up forward. They'll come inboard, you think, to Richard Cochrane. He does just that now, and that is Stewie Cochrane.
Jimmy.
Get back to Jimmy. Comes out to this side of the grandstand side now to Hopwood. Hopwood goes to the leading player this time, and on the end of that is Daniel Shell. And DB said before the game that he'll probably come out and kick 10. Well, he's lining up for his 10th goal now, so you might be a couple out there, DB. You might kick 12.
Well, the last player to kick 10 goals from memory was Daniel Bradshaw 2 seasons ago for West Adelaide against the Roosters. That was the year the Roosters won one game.
We haven't come up with this
We haven't seen a 10-goal scorer for 2 seasons, and we won't see one right now because Daniel Shell has shanked it. That's wide to the left. And an anticlimactic moment as Central's 21-11-143, South 7-4-46 on the Lakes Resort scoreboard.
Okay, didn't Shell kick 10 recently or not?
Yeah, I'll have to go back.
Yeah, he did only a couple of weeks ago.
I reckon he kicked 10
I'll check
recently, Danny Shell.
Yep.
Just check that. I'm sure he did. He had a day off kicking about 7 or 8 points.
I reckon
and
it was a
came
couple
out
of weeks
and
after the
booted
state
10. I'm
game,
sure
yep.
he did an actual
Probably
fact.
after he kicked 1 goal 7.
Yeah, something like that. The ball out now towards the half-back flank and has been marked out here for the... Yes,
Daniel Shell, 10 goals 2 versus West Adelaide, round 7.
Thank you,
There we
Larkin.
go.
Thank you, ball boys. The ball now with the Panthers as they bring it up towards the half-back. Bumped over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in. Left half-forward flank, in actual fact, for the Doggies.
Yeah, Bennett there throwing the arm up and spoiling Scholar. So, I suppose the highlight now, the PDK highlight now, is will Daniel Shell kick his 10th goal the second time this year?
And the way it's going, if he does that, he might give Centrals the 100-point lead as well.
Okay, in they throw, the throw comes in, Jimmy Gowan's in there, he can't take the ball in there, forcing the ball out, but it is Centrals again with the numbers. In there is McKay before the Central side, he can't pick the ball up. Davey in there, comes out the back again, Slade picks the ball up now, he's got a player over the top, finds that player, that is Officer went to play on but slipped over. Luxor Fortune's got Shell leading for him now. That's the general direction they're going for, and maybe they're going to do that too much, and South are picking it off too easily. Comes out the back to Hamby. Hamby with the no one in queue. He goes for the boundary on that outer side of the ground. Leading in the race of the ball is the Central's player, and that is Symes. He picks it up. He goes inboard quickly to the inside 50. Over the back there is Tarrant. He picks the ball up, pushes the player away from the Doggies, comes out the back this time. South Adelaide through Smith, I think it is, with the numbers, goes up towards Davis. Davis in front takes the mark and will relieve the pressure. Plays on quickly, gets it out towards Parry. Parry comes grandstand side, centre wing. Central's with the numbers back here again. They spoil the ball and they just got the numbers. Officer looks over, he'll go back to Hearn. No, he goes even further over to Cochrane. Stewie. And that is Stewie Cochrane is smack bang in the centre circle of the NAP Oval. Goes to that outer side of the ground.
Biscuits.
Comes out to Arnott. Arnott now looking up over the top. And a great kick by Arnott. Has found a player on his own.
I reckon
And
that's
that is
C.
Richard Cochrane. So Richard Cochrane in front of the Lakes Resort scoreboard will go back and line up from around about 25 to 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. Central's doing as they please.
Richard Cochrane, this season 5 goals and 9. Born in Elizabeth, played for the Elizabeth Football Club and the son of Richard Cochrane Senior, who played for the Doggies. So you can't get more Bulldog-blooded than Richard Cochrane.
And his
Comes
brother.
in now. Well, that's true. 25 metres out. Angle. No problemo. Central's 23rd goal. They're close to the 150 mark now. Central 23-11. That's 149 South, 7-4-46. We ain't got the close one. Let's see what's happening thanks to black and white trucks. We move it right around the grounds.
Only one close one, Phil. That's at Woodville. Eagles 11-15 leading Nord 11-14. Port 17-10 leading Sturt 9-10. West 19-13 leading Glenelg 9-14. West Coast 7-11 leading Hawthorn 3-5. Yes, you're right, Smithy. To all the Melbourne fans, St Kilda did win by 88 points. Back to the boys.
You're doing a wonderful job back there too, I must admit. And here it is, all the Doggies, and they are kicking with a slight breeze, DB, and the windsock there. You're just moving a much, but it wouldn't matter, would it?
It wouldn't matter whether they're kicking with a breeze or not, Smitty. They're just absolutely thumping the Panthers at the moment.
They certainly are, and the PDK highlight now is, can Daniel Shell get his 10th? Down goes to bounce. Scholar in there. Over the top, it comes out to Slade. He gets a quick kick up. Leading in the race for the ball is Cochrane. Does it well and gets it over to Stewie Cochrane. Here goes to Shell on the land, and he's marked the ball 45 metres out. Great play by the Doggies again. They just do it in numbers, and the one thing they don't do, DB, is they never give up, and they always make a play out of it. Slade there would have been easy to hold the ball in, but didn't. Kicked it out quickly.
Well, they're just a great team, simple as that.
Take 2. For the first time in 11 weeks, can we see a player kick 10 goals? Daniel Shell back-to-back. Well, he was 5 behind coming in on the race for the Ken Farmel. He shot that to pieces, and with a game in hand, he'd be odds-on favourite, as are the Doggies, to go top. Shell nails it, and he's missed again. Well, just adds a little bit of theatre. He'll probably do it right on the siren, just to keep the storybook right. 21 minutes gone, thanks to Grand Central and the Central. 23-13. That is just 23-12-140. South 7-4-46.
That's on the Lake Resort
150
scoreboard.
Nagel brings it into Fleming, still inside the defensive 50, just slightly to the grandstand side of the NAP Oval. Fleming now, he'll be told to hurry it up, so he kicks it to McGlon, still inside the defensive 50, grandstand side. gained virtually nothing with that kick. So McGlon now will immediately play on and bring it out to centre half back. The mark taken by Hately. Hately now gets support now and gives it to the player in Fleming. Fleming now towards the centre wing. Up they fly in front though, and showing tremendous courage was off to hide backing into the pack. He's got a couple of dogs loose on the outer side of the ground. One of those is Arnott. Gives it over to Jimmy Gown. Jimmy Gown will bomb it up inside the 50. Shell in front of his opponent on this occasion, I should say. It ricochets out the back. There's a couple of Panthers there, and the ball will end up in the centre with Love. He gets it over the top, gives it to Jackman. Jackman now to Nagel. Nagel breaks away onto the left boot. The hurried kick though. Hearn in front takes the mark. No, the umpire said play on as the ball comes to ground now. The Panthers have got it momentarily, but funny, the Dogs have got it through Scholar. His handball was a beauty to Richard Cochrane. He gives it to Stewie Cochrane. He goes short now to centre wing to Officer. Officer looking for Shelley. Looked up to, where are you, Danny? And the ball goes up inside the 50, but Tarrant out and takes the mark for the Panthers.
Yeah, Shell, I must admit, is back there at the centre half forward area on bending over, because he did do a lot of chasing there. So good to see a forward like that working very hard. South Adelaide now come up towards the Warren area. He's come out to half forward flank to get a kick. Goes back inboard.
Centre wing.
Centre wing, yeah, you're right. It comes out Cochrane now with the number, with the player there. Comes out the back over the top to Warren. Warren this time will play on, you're suggesting, go in with a long kick, but he looks up, all he sees are doggies. So this time the kick's an absolute finger breaker, but standing in front without breaking his finger was the big fella and has marked the ball.
King.
And that is Brett King, and he's going to go back and have a shot on goal 25 metres out. And good skill shown there by King, because that ball was floating in and going around all over the place, and he held the mark, DB.
Yeah, that was, it was like a kite coming in, wasn't it, Phil?
No, wrong. Brett King, his first game since round out against West Adelaide, has hit one behind in total from his 7 matches since coming on this year. Initial recruit from the West Perth Falcons. Comes in now, 35 out, and he's missed that. So South Adelaide still goalless in this final quarter. They've kicked 2 behind, 7-5-47. Central's 23-12, 150. Lakes Resort scoreboard. The road ahead for South. They've got North at Noarlunga next Saturday. We'll be down there for that. Port at Adelaide the following week. Then Norwood at Norwood Saturday night. And they finish with the Eagles at Noarlunga. It is a tough road home.
They won't win another game. South will not win another game.
Central District, they play Sturt at Unley next week. And the way the Double Blues are playing, that could be interesting. Norwood at NAP Oval will be there for that. And Eagles at Woodville in the big battle, August 21. Book your tickets now.
Hayes brought the ball back in.
I'd say the roughest road home is tonight, back to Noarlunga.
Yeah, he's come to the grandstand side to find McCabe. McCabe has got the kick up forward to Hearn. Hearn gets it over the top to Chris Gowns. He's been set upon, tackled high. He's going to go back. Clever football by Chris. Stops and props, goes down with a kick. He finds Kane Officer. Lacks a fortune for him. The kick was an absolute shocker, but fell in the arms of Officer.
Yeah, but the players are playing in front and they get rewarded for it.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Officer's kick was smothered, goes in the arms of Davey. He's taken off. He looks up forward. There's 4 South Adelaide players to choose from. Has found Hamby. Now, Hamby will go back. He's got Warren running for him. The kick's far too high. Gives the opposition in Central's players time to get back there. It's Sport. Hearn comes to the ground first, picks the ball up, does it cleverly, keeps his legs. Good strength shown by Hearn. He gets it over to Sibinala. Sibinala will go to that outer side of the ground to find Healy. Does just that. No, it's not Healy. It is off to Hyde. So off to Hyde goes to that outer side of the ground a little bit further on, and Symes has got the ball, goes up further with a kick up towards centre wing. They're doing it as they will. That Slade gets in towards Scholar. Scholar's got time to drop the ball, go back and pick it up, but he has been pushed away by Parry. Good play, gets it out towards South Adelaide again through Neagle, I think it is. Goes up towards the big fella in King, and he has taken the mark at half forward. So South now goes inside 50, has got Tarrant, finds that player, and not Tarrant, it's Tucky. So Tucky's marked the ball 48